Hello guys! Hello! Mga pala! Char! So, ganan! Wait. Diba? Okay, mga palangga kong hitad! Okay, so our topic for today.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
Our topic for today is about.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Okay, but before anything else, welcome back to my YT channel. This is again, I'm a singer, internal voice, but I rebranded my YT channel into health, okay, science, safety, and music. But before anything else, before starting this vlog, I want to off the AC. It's very cold, and you know the sound effect of my video will be affected. Okay, it's gonna be like that. Okay. So carbohydrates. Okay. Where's the? I need to do this again because I have a failed video. So this is gonna be yesterday. It was really stuck up. Okay. So you get the point, mga palangga. Okay. So for a while, I'll drink water. Okay, so we're gonna be like showing here. Wait, here like that. Okay, because it's gonna be like this. Okay, makita ninyo mga palangga. Makita niyo dili. Ana, di ba? Or shall we say ana siya? Oh, di ba? Okay. So, klaro na ba? Yes, klaro na dyan kaayo. Okay, our topic for today is carbohydrates. Okay. Maklaro, you can clearly read carbohydrates. Okay. Like this. Carbo means carbon, hydrates mean water. So, after the hydration chemical reaction, it will produce water or the hydrate. So, it's going to be the empirical formula CH2O. Then, it can be noted as CnH2nOn, where N is the number of atoms. Okay? Take note, N is the number of atoms, not the number of moles. Okay, you get the point. So for example, if I have aldohexose sugar, okay, for example, on the right, so we have 6 carbon atoms, right? Because hexose means 6 carbon atoms, so C6, right? Example for this, the most common, glucose. Okay, glucose, C6H12O6. Then why we arrive for the C6H12O6? We'll just use this formula here and substitute the number of atoms for carbon, okay, which is 6. The carbon atoms only. So N is equal to 6, so it's become C6. So H 2 times N, which is 6. Okay, 12. O, then 6, it will become C6H12O6. So every time you will forget, just memorize this empirical formula of sugar so that you can remember. As long as you know the number of carbon of atoms, then substitute that there so that you can have the exact number of atoms of your hydrogen and oxygen. You don't have to worry if you really understand the empirical formula. Okay? Tantamount also with the hydrocarbon. Right? Hydrocarbon, as I discussed over and over again. Okay, so it's gonna be hydrogen and carbon combination. That's why hydrocarbon. So the story is like this, okay, for the hydrocarbon. But in hydrocarbons, we have another structuring. We have single band, okay, the single band, the double band. I'm just trying to explain the similarity of the principle and concept. Okay, the double band, okay, I'll just connect it so that we can understand. Okay, triple band, like that. Okay, single band will be CnH2n plus 2. Okay, the N here also same, the number of atoms, the same also with carbohydrates. Okay, like that our double band will be CnH2n minus 2. Okay, like that. Okay, CnH2n minus 2 is our, okay, no, it's our double band is CnH2n lang siya. Okay, then our triple band will be CnH2n minus 2. Okay, again, single bond CnH2n plus 2, double bond CnH2n, triple bond CnH2n minus 2. For example, I have acetylene gas. Let's apply that to the hydrocarbon. So what will be understood from the word acetyl? Oh, it looks like difficult, right? So acetyl is is an alkyl. CH2, then there's a bond here, acetyl. Okay? So we have acetaldehyde. Okay, we have acetic acid and then acetylene gas. So the K term here is the CH2. Okay, things like this. Okay, so we need to say, guys, in acetyl. Sa mga timan na sa acetylene. So acetylene. Okay, acetylene. Okay, acetylene is very confusing, okay, because there's an acetyl. So meaning two atoms of carbon, right? Acetylene, two atoms of carbon. Now, if we choose this three from single bond, double bond, we will try. But we have a clue already that this is a double bond because it ends in E and E. Okay, because A and E, mga palangga kong hitad, okay, A and E is single bond. Okay. E and E is double bond and Y and E is triple bond. Now, acetylene is E and E, so we can have an idea that it's gonna be double bond. And let's prove it, right? So acetyl, two carbon atoms are here. So C2H2 times 2 plus 2H4 plus is gonna be ethane. So this is wrong. Okay, because this is ethane, it is such a single bond. Now, in double bond, okay, C2H2 times 2. This is gonna be C2H4. Then this is gonna be ethylene. Okay, ethylene. So this is not still acetylene. Now in the triple bond, C2H2 minus 2, C2H4 minus 2, then C2H2. So C2H2 is the chemical formula of acetylene. So guys, in organic chemistry this is only the hydrocarbon that confuse the role. Okay? Because acetylene, again, acetylene ends in E and E, which is supposedly double bond by the ruling and policy of IOPA, International Union for Pure Applied Chemistry. So it will fall to A and E supposedly, the acetylene. So we will say that it is a double bond. But in reality, that is not. Because if you substitute the two atoms of acetyl, it will follow the triple bond. Here, which is C2H2. So meaning to say, acetylene is a triple bond. Okay? But imagine there's an E and E, so it's confusing. Sometimes this will come out to the board examination, a science fair quiz, because this is the only organic compound hydrocarbon that does not follow the ruling of IUPAC, International Union for Pure Applied Chemistry. All will follow except acetylene. Again, put that in our brain cells. All chemical structuring and chemical formulas will follow the IUPAC rule except for acetylene gas. Because acetylene ends E-N-E, but actually this is a triple bond, which is C2H2. Supposedly this will be acetylene, Y-N-E. But why it does not follow? Dahil si acetylene. Di ba? Because there is already a rule, he will never follow. So, if you try to break down the bond, we have acetylene, 2 atoms of carbon. So, 1, 2, 2 atoms of carbon. Now, triple bond. So, 1, 2, 3. And there's excess 1 bond in the left and right of the carbon. So, you say hydrogen, hydrogen. So, interpret this. This is carbon, C2 hydrogen, 1, 2, C2H2. So it's really triple bond, the acetylene. It's not double bond. So if the question in the board examination, you will say, which of the following is not a double bond? Okay, like this, A, ethene, B, like that, ethene, C, acetylene, D. Then you will confuse the answer is really is acetylene. Because acetylene is a triple bond even though there's an E-N-E in the term. Okay? Like that. So at first, naglibog yung kuanin guys when I was in college regarding this acetylene. Okay? And the double bond of acetylene is the ethylene. This ethylene. Okay? Is the double bond of acetylene. And the single bond of acetylene is just ethane. Ethane. Okay? Got the point? Things like that. So, mo-follow na ang ethylene or ang ethane, but the acetylene will never follow. Okay? This it is not called ethylene. Okay? It is acetylene. Kung nakakaloka, diba? So, things like this. Okay, then connect that to the carbohydrates also. For example, I will erase this one. Another example of sugar. Right? Okay. So, C2H2 is very flammable because all hydrocarbons are non-polar molecular covalent bond that will exhibit higher flammability. Okay, because there's no excess electrons in their chemical bonds. Again, all hydrocarbon compounds are flammable because there's no excess electrons in the chemical bonds. All are completely shaped. They are non-polar covalent molecular bond. All compounds that is non-polar covalent compound are all flammable. The carbon and hydrogen combination. No need to look for MSDS. Just understand the theory, then bingo, pasok sa banga. Okay, because not all the time chemicals are having the MSDS. Okay, as long as you can see the labeling of the chemicals, that there's a carbon, there's a hydrogen, bingo, that is flammable. You get the point? Okay, don't wait for the safety data sheets. Just understand the theory and concept of chemistry. You get the point? So do not be dependent on any materials you found in the net, because not all the time you'll be sitting in the office. Okay? We will walk, we will ride, and we don't have our computers every day when we go to places. Okay? Don't be dependent too much in the Google search. Okay? Because if somebody will ask you, for example, you are a licensed mechanical engineer, you will be going to another place and there's no computer. Okay? And for example, you left your cell phone. And don't tell me you will Google in the data. You will be ashamed. You cannot answer directly. You still find in the Google and your friend is asking you already, what is the like this? What is the function of like this related to your profession? So it will be embarrassing. Okay? So do not be too dependent on materials and resources around you. So you should be independent. Just put that in your brain. So wherever you are, if somebody will ask you, then you can answer immediately. Okay? Then you can stand by it that you are really a licensed engineer. Okay, or your profession speaks for your personality, even though there are no technology around you. Okay? It's gonna be like that. Kasi nakakahiya. Okay, you get the point. Nasaba na po. You get the point? So it doesn't match your status if you keep on copy-paste in the Google search. Okay? In the, in whatever, in the internet. Get the point? So like that. Okay, especially joining debates, Okay, extemporaneous speaking, like that. You didn't have the, the computer around you to search the spelling, to search the vocabulary. You put that in your hippocampus part of your brain, the storage of all the memory. It will be like that. Now, going back to the formula CnH2n plus 2. Okay, let's enjoy this, right? While we're still alive. Para di ka matagal na pumutok. You get the point. Sayang. Diba? Mga chemical engineers, hindi ko nakita nila na nakalimutan sa formula sa kuan. Sa, kita ka ba mo sa formula sa acetic acid. Diba? Nakakahiya. Get the point. Chemical engineer doesn't know how to give the formula of acetic acid. Oh my gosh. Okay, going back to CN. Malita kayo, no? Ganun talaga. Diba? So, may muna na, mupiyar mo po board exam. Okay, so CnH2n plus 2. Okay, this is alkane. CnH2n, okay, minus 2 will be your, will be your triple bond. And CnH10 is your double bond. Okay, things like that. Copy? Like that. So, if you forgot the formula, then use this. Okay, like that. Actually, you should remember only the number of carbon atoms lang talaga siya. And memorize the sequencing, ha? Okay, again, the sequencing will if hydrocarbon. Methane, ethane, okay, propane, butane, pentane, heptane, hexane, heptane, octane, nonane, and denane, and dudenane. Dudenane is 12 carbon atoms. Denane is 10 carbon atoms. Nonane is 9 carbon atoms. 8 is octane, the gasoline we have. Okay? 8 atoms carbon. C8H18 is the formula of gasoline. Okay? You get the point. So, that's hydrocarbon. So, in-memorize na lang parita mga nalibong mga palangga. Ha? Okay. Especially if you're taking BS Chemistry and BS Chemical Engineering. Pag agtuloy mo sa 50, piyungan pa, nakabaw na ka. You get the point? Ganon. Okay. For example, I have here, I will just try to enumerate the aldo sugar. Okay. So if the examination guys in the future will say, what are the two types of sugar? Your answer will be aldose sugars and ketose sugars. Okay. So enumeration. Okay, what are the two classification of sugars? Aldose sugars and ketose sugars. In enumeration. Enumerate at least 5 examples of ketose sugars. Ganon. Don't worry because the examination in the future is not like this. No enumeration, no essay. It's only multiple choice. Don't worry. Okay, so I'm just explaining. Okay, like all sugars, example of aldose sugars, like that. Okay, let's enumerate na siya. So number 1 for aldose sugar, we have the glucose. Okay, we have the galactose. Okay, like that. And our ketose sugar will be the fructose. Okay, fructose. And we have the ribulose. Okay, things like this. Ribulose, threose, wow, threose, cellulose, okay, you get the point mga palangakong hitag, cellulose, you get the point. Ano siya mga ketose sugar, wait for a while, okay, cellulose, okay, like that, okay. Now, ano siya kung yes, no? So number 3 will be, aldose sugar is the ribose. Okay, ribose, okay, and then xylose. I will give you the technique later. Xylose, okay? So things like that. Wait, ha? Okay, what else? We still have maltose, right? So maltose is gonna be the addition of 2 glucoses, right, to maltose. So glucose is aldose, then, so of course, your maltose will be aldose. Okay, maltose. Okay. Like that. And then your galactose plus glucose. Okay? And then fructose plus glucose is equal to sucrose. So, sucrose can act as an aldose sucrose can act as an ketose in between. Sucrose in between. Okay? Sucrose, because sucrose, the formula of sucrose is fructose plus glucose. And glucose is aldose sugar, fructose is ketose sugar. In adding the two, of course, this is in between, in the middle. You cannot say that sucrose is an aldose sugar. You can never say also that ketose sugar, sucrose is a ketose sugar fully. But this is 50-50 in character. Like that. You get the point? The sucrose, the white sugar we have in our kitchen, things like that. And then we have the lactose. Lactose is galactose plus glucose. So therefore, galactose and glucose are all aldose. The lactose also are aldose sugar. Right? Like that. You get the point? To things like that. Okay. So our examples are, actually there's a lot. Okay. Then we have also erythrose. Erythrose also is really aldose. Okay. Erythrose sugar. Okay. Now, honey. Honey sugar. Honey from the bees. Asa siya mabilong? Aldose sugar or ketose sugar? The formula of honey sugar is glucose, okay, and fructose. So glucose and fructose, it's in between also, between aldose. So you can never also say it is aldose fully, and you can never also say it is ketose sugar fully, and in between only. Okay, the honey sugar, okay, and the sucrose and the white sugar. So delikado because matunga siya. They can act in between. Okay, you get the point. So things like that. Okay, what we're trying to find out here, okay, is of course by visual looking at the terminology, aldose of being aldehyde group, and ketose performed the ability of a ketone group. So in that way, you will be using the general formula of an aldehyde to account that to the sugar. And you'll be using also the formula of ketone to account the ketose sugar. You get the point? Things like that. Okay, now, erase. Because gamay na akong board. Okay, now, let's go first to the aldehyde. By the way, guys, aldehyde also, we have also glyceraldehyde, number 8. Actually, guys, there's a lot of aldose glyceraldehyde. Glyceraldehyde is a sugar, okay, from alcohols. Okay? Alcohols. Okay, that's glyceraldehyde. Okay, the simplest alcohol, okay, is glycerol. And the simplest sugar of all is glyceride. Why? Because it has only 3 carbon atoms. You get the point? Things like that. Because there are also other books saying the most simplest sugar is the glucose. It's not, because glucose has a partner, glucose, galactose, and fructose. So how can he alone as the simplest sugar? There are other also obeying the same formula. So it is the glyceraldehyde sugar because, glycerol have 3 carbon atoms. It's more simplified in character compared to glucose. But if you will say the basic unit of carbohydrates, or the basic substance in carbohydrates, or the basic monomer of the carbohydrates, or the basic building block substance of carbohydrates, it is glucose. Okay? It is glyceraldehyde. Okay? It is not glucose. So, pagtalunan pa niya siya, it depends on the situation also. Because if the choice is also in the multiple choice, there's no glyceraldehyde. So, you will answer glucose. Things like it. Mag-inutok na lang ta, okay? Because there's a great part in the discussion, in the classroom discussion also. Okay, you got the point? So, did you matukita ng guys ba? Okay, but formula here, as a licensed chemical engineer, glyceride is the simplest sugar because it contains 3 carbon atoms without referring to the carbohydrates labeling. Only the form of the glycerol as a sugar alcohol. Say, sugar alcohol. The glyceride is not a sugar. So, how come? Again, glycerol is a sugar alcohol. And then if you put that in a behavior like an aldehyde, you will never say glyceride is a carbohydrate, things like that, but it's never explained in the book also. If you try to be bookish in a university, in an institution, the teacher will never explain that glyceraldehyde is a carbohydrate. You can only serve and explore that by your own, in your initiative, okay? But meaning to say, going beyond by what they shared in your classroom instruction. You need to study more. It doesn't mean that you have to yun yung labuan ng maestra. All you have to do is that you will learn a lot. That is not a competition. You will only have to maximize your academic potential. Things like that. Okay, because I don't remember that teachers really explain that glyceraldehyde is a carbohydrate. And glyceraldehyde also is a simple sugar. But if you try to scrutinize glyceraldehyde, yes, it is a simple sugar partner of glycerol, which is a sugar alcohol. So if you will say glycerol is a sugar alcohol, then glyceride also is a sugar. Because they're both having the same characteristic, 3 carbon atoms. You get the point? So, okay. Then if you want to argue, just put that in the FB Messenger. Okay, because di sikat ang glyceraldehyde, asa ka mo tanaw sa mga YouTube, mga sources, di i-consider nga carbohydrates. Okay? But if you find really the technicalities, the theories and the concepts, glyceride will exist as a sugar talaga siya. Okay, got the point? Ganon. Okay. Now, how can we identify that that is an algo sugar? Okay, so the first thing to remember, it is in the carbon number 1. Carbon number 1, so there's a double bond. That is aldo sugar. Okay, in keto sugar, the double bond is carbon number 2. Okay, it's in the carbon number 2. You got the point? Now, if the double bond is in the carbon number 2, it's easy to break the glucose compared to fructose because the double bond is in the carbon number 1. Okay? The more your double bond will go to carbon number 3, carbon number 4, carbon number 5, it is not easy to decompose, it's not easy to break down that into waste product. That's why the chance of the keto sugars will stack normally in our stomach. Okay? Dili-dili alatul. What will be touched first are the glucoses. The glucoses, the galactoses, blah blah blah, so and so. The fructoses will be last, like this other ketose sugars, because by technical theory, the double bond is in the carbon number 2. It's not easy to burn. You get the point? So our basis pala talaga, basta mag-involve siya mga carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, the double bond. Okay, the same as with the omega omega fatty acids. The more it has double bond, okay, the more it is healthy to our health. Okay, things like that. You get the point, mga palangga akong hitan. But that is in terms of burning down, but another purpose is for healthy. So, duha ang characteristics sa double bond. It's easy to break down if it is in the carbon number 1 or in a numbering very, very close to the right. Right half, right and top. Okay, right and top. Okay. Sumula siya, pareho na siya. Okay. And then sa double bond, ato siya sa F masugod. Okay, sa ito mo lang mga omega fats. Omega 3 fats ang counting. Okay, ana siya mga palang nakumitan. Now we go to the structuring of the, glucose. Okay. So, ang glucose mga palangga, labot we come into the biogas oil because I already vlogged this yesterday, right? Okay. There's something wrong with my, Okay. So, wait. May pasama pa lang akong hitadha. Charot! Diba? Wait for a while na lang akong hitad. Kinisya, saan siya? Okay. Glucose. Okay. Another term for glucose is inositol and dextrose. Okay? Like that. Sometimes we'll refer that as a carb, but unfortunately, carb is for all sugars, not only for glucose. That's only general understanding only for the public because they are not studying science. Meaning to say, they are not science professional. That's why they are equating carbohydrates as a glucose only. But all sugars, I say glucose, fructose, galactose, all are carbohydrates. Meaning, carbohydrates are the family of them all. If the question will say, blank is a sugar family, Fill in the blank. Your answer will be carbohydrates directly without question. Blank is a carbohydrates family. Blank is known as a sugar family. A, lipid. B, protein. C, nucleic acid. D, amino acid. E, carbohydrate. Your answer will be carbohydrate. Okay? Alam na, blank is known as a sugar family na nasa sa choices ang sugar. O di ba nabuang nga? So, it could have been the sugar will not be in the choices. Nakakaloka. O di ba? Okay, so glucose, inositol, and dextrose are the same. So, it shares the same formula, C6H12O6. And then, more popularly known as the blood sugar. Okay, blood sugar. This is the one who we will regulate in our, pancreas. Okay, like that. Or in our liver for the diabetes. Okay, things like that. Okay, so what we mean in the diabetic is you are having higher of glucose. Not the fructose, the lactose like that. Okay? What they are referring to is this formula, C6H12O6. Okay. Even though dagang mga sugar, but it's specific to C6H12O6, the blood sugar, and for the diabetes. That's why if you will eat more fruits, daily alatul, you will never get a diabetic symptom. Because fructose, this is not the formula of fructose. The formula of fructose, okay, so it's not the same as the blood sugar, but actually, they are isomers with each other. You get the point? Ay, pareho sila formula, but they don't have the same application. Tama ba? Memory recall. Yes. They don't have the same health benefit, okay, and functional application, but they act like a sugar. Common. That's why, if you have high fructose, it doesn't mean you are also having diabetes. Okay? Clear story here. Okay? Alam mo, if you drink milk every day, magka-diabetes ka. No, it's not. Because milk is not glucose. It is galactose or lactose. Okay? Even though you have a higher lactose, did you go ba diabetes? Because that's milk. Things like that. Okay, you get the point? So, you get the point mga palala kumitad. So, it doesn't mean, if you have, sa ito pa, atong strict if you try to be strict, if you have a high sugar, it doesn't mean you have a diabetic automatically. It depends on what kind of sugar in your system that is very high. But since normally we interpreted that generally as a glucose, that's why we accept that if you have high sugar, you have chance of obesity, because we are referring that automatically as the glucose. But actually it is not, because there's so many sugar. So if we are trying to be a scientist, or like that, or to be technical, so we will never, you have a higher of sugar in your body. So what sugar? Fructose, galactose. But I am not diabetic, even though I have a high sugar. Because the high sugar in your system is not the glucose, it's the fructose, it's the galactose, based on the analysis test of the doctor. So, kani siyang yung tagapuan, ginilo na siya bit. So, you have high sugar, yung giminan ang glucose ragyon na ilain. Okay, that's the point. But actually, there's a lot of types of sugar. So, what I'm trying to emphasize, that is really wrong if you try to be strict. Because sugar is not single as glucose. So many kinds of sugar. If you add the sugars, this is the total sugar you have. You got the point? Okay. Total sugar, glucose plus the lactose plus maltose. So usara diha ang glucose. Yan ang mingon ta. If you have high sugar, automatic na nakanga-diabetic. No, it's not. Because fructose, lactose cannot cause you diabetic. Get the point? Only glucose can cause diabetic. Okay? Nakuha ninyo, guys? But since not all will understand this, because this is purely science, then it's accepted that what you mean in sugar is the glucose. Okay? You get the point? Ana. Mag-agree lang, ta? So, game so quiet. O, diba? Okay, so glucose. Ganon. So, glucose is aldohexose sugar. Charot. So, sa akong examination later, we will try to identify kung saan siya klase ng sugar, ha? Okay? And then, ako nili-describe kung saan siya, gano'n, chuchu. Okay, so C6H12O6, ganon. Okay? Kung sa kamay na to guys ko eh. Yan pa sa ha. Char! Okay. So 6 carbon atoms. So ano yun? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then the rule says in the aldo sugar, aldohexose sugar, your bottom part or the carbon number 6 will be automatically as CH2OH. CH2OH. Okay? Na maglibog na sa galak, may sa kaani nga methanol ni Ron. Okay? This is not methanol ha, because methanol is CH3OH ba yan? Methanol or methyl alcohol. Kuwang pa rin siya po sa hydrogen. So, hindi siya methyl alcohol, hindi siya methanol ng H2H ha? Okay? You get the point. Muna siya ang carbon 6 para. During our memorization, it's easy to detect the structural formula. Especially if you are majoring chemistry or masterals major in chemistry. Or if you try to be doctor in chemistry. Things like that. Okay? Get the point. Then we have here carbon 1, carbon 2, carbon 3, carbon 4, carbon 5, carbon 6. Shout out pala to Lorene Abilia. Lorene Abilia is a master's degree in chemistry. Okay, like that. And he's a graduate of Cebu Institute of Technology University, and he's now a legit instructor in Japan. Okay, chemistry. Actually, Miss Lorraine did not take the chemical engineering board examination because after she graduated in CIT, she took her master's degree immediately to University of San Carlos. And after that, she did not take the licensure. And then, time coming until such that she enjoyed in teaching in Japan. Okay? Like that. She's also a scholar. Things like that. Okay, shout out Ma'am Lorraine Abilia. Okay. His brother, mga practice, okay, his brother is top number 1 in electrical engineer. Si Mr. Dan, Engineer Dan Abilia is top number 1 in electrical engineer. So, she is a sister of Mr. Dan Abilia. Okay, both are coming from CIT University. So, mga bright nila sila guys. Okay? So, now I don't have update if she really took the chemical engineer's board examination. But I think it's not because nalingaw na siya sa master's degree, mga PhD sa chemistry. Okay? Di ba, Ma'am Lorraine? Charot. Di ba? I can still remember Ma'am Lorraine because mukhang tayo ba yato? Ulit na juwid ba yun may charot? Okay. Nakakaloka. Okay. We got the point. Sa anak na yun. Okay. Nakailan yun ba ang mga taga-tuyan? Tuyan na kasi kung nakailan yun siguro ni Lorraine Abilia. Pero sikat mo siya dito. In fairness. Ganan. Okay, we have the carbon. So this is the carbon 1 will be double bond. That is ganon. Oxygen. And hydrogen here. Ganon. Now, in your glucose, guys, I put that in your brain cells. Okay, that the OH will be in the left and the carbon number 3 here. Here like that. So that's, and the rest will be the reverse. The OH will be on the right. Here, OH, 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 like this. And the partner of OH is always an H, hydrogen. Like this, like this, like this, like this. Okay. Now, if the question in, for example, in a science examination, things like that. So, what are the 2 elements found in sugar? Things like that. Our 3 elements. So, your answer will be carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen only. Okay? There are 3 non-metal. Actually, guys, carbon, guys, before, when I was in high school, I interpreted this as, non-metal. Okay? Before, when I was in high school. When I go to college, I started to understand that carbon is non-metal. Okay? Because if this is a metal, how come this carbon will be the backbone in our DNA? Backbone element in our DNA. So it should be a non-metal. Because non-element is easy to react to other substances. Okay? Because if it is, if it is a metal, so problem. This will not react to others. Then in our DNA, okay, in our genes, we have carbon there. Okay, don't tell me carbon is a metal. So things like that. You get the point? Though when you burn the sugar, it will produce a bad particle, black particle. The black particle is the presence of carbon. So some students will interpret this as a metal because there's solid substance after burning. But the form or the appearance is not usually the basis of how to distinguish the phase. The PHASE. Okay, phase. Three phases of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. Now we have the appearance or form, right? Like that. The appearance of form is not an assurance we can distinguish the phase. For example, carbon. Carbon will produce solid substance after burning or an ash, but it is solid. But the phase is not a solid. It is a non-metal. You get the point? It will turn also into a gas. Okay, combining with CO2, carbon dioxide, things like that, carbon monoxide, CO2, and everything chuba-chuchu. See? So it will not act as a solid. Okay, it will carried by the oxygen, the reactive oxygen, to become a gas also. You get the point? Anak siya. So non-metal talaga siya, guys. Okay? Okay. Another reason also sa hydrocarbon, carbon plus hydrogen. Okay? So this is a molecular compound. Then molecular is an addition of non-metal and non-metal. Therefore, carbon is a non-metal, not metal. So sometimes pag-ibo ko rin sa una, but thanks dala kasabot ako. Diba kayo yung na graphite, okay, graphite, diamond, charcoal, lignite, anthracite, okay, bitumen, like that, coal, again, graphite, diamond, charcoal, lignite, anthracite, bitumen, and the coal. These are composed of carbon. You get the point? But this is not a metal. Di ba makalibog? This is a non-metal. You got the point? Carbon is a non-metal. That's why it's very confusing sometimes if you try to dig. But just have it in your mind that carbon is one of the 17 non-elements in the periodic table. Okay. It is one of the 17 non-metal elements, okay, in the periodic table. So we have at least 189 or 188 elements in the periodic table. Okay? And there are at least 40 up radioactive elements. 17 elements, non-metals, okay, and then the overall is 188 or to 189. So I include a non-reactive element also, ha? I included also the latest element discovered in 2018. That's why I say 189. That is unonium element. But this unonium element is not reflected in our textbooks nowadays, but it's subject for confirmatory text. This still 188 elements in the periodic table. Okay, things like that. You don't have to memorize all, ha? You only have to understand the group, the period, the physical properties, the chemical properties, that's all. Though you will memorize the most common, but you can never memorize all. This 188. You get the point? Okay, may damit, okay? Especially the artificially prepared elements. Ito nasa ubo sa lanthanide series. Okay? Actinide series. Okay? Kanang duha ka buok na last ba? Okay, so di man kana siya mga gamit, mga artificially prepared or man-made elements na siya ara-ara. Okay, you get the point? Ganon. Okay, katumalaw. Radium, francium, mga ganon. Okay, so go back to the glucose. Okay, ganon siya. Now, this is D-glucose, mga palangga kung hitad. Okay, why D-glucose? Because all the OH found in the right. The 3 OH except for the carbon number 3. See? 1, 2, 3. For example, if the examination also will say, how many hydroxide are in the D-glucose? How many hydroxides in the right of the D-glucose? So your answer will be 3. 1, 2, 3. The other OH is in the left man. things. Then if you don't know how the structural formula, you cannot answer the question. Because C6H12 will not help you for this. This is a general chemical formula. You can never extract the OH here. And this you will structure that out or break that out to a Fischer chemical projection chemical reaction like this. This is a Fischer chemical reaction projection. If you see like this in the books. Fischer, F-I-S-C-H-E-R. Fischer projection chemical formula. This one is the general chemical formula. And you can never identify totally. See, CHO, and there's no OH reflection here. You can interpret only that there are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, but there's no presence of hydroxide. And if you try to structure that out into a Fischer projection, you can know that there are 4 hydroxide. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the other one also here, 5 pa. Okay? Ano sila pala yung OH na sa ubos? Doon na dyan bata guys, no? Okay. So, I think guys, module na ako hinungdan sa board exam. Nadaot ko, what dyan yung taas pag akong score. Charot! Charot lang. Ako nga taba, dali kayo masikyat ko eh. Sus, daman na pala dyan ko bata. Akong vision is 100 to 200 pa lang. Hindi ko makuhaan siguro eh. Char! Charot lang. Okay? Mudyo na akong hinungdan. Huwag ka nang paspas kayo kung solve. Then, magkagurit chain ang akong agi. Okay? Di pasar pa magani ko ngayon ana. How much mo kung pinahamutan kaya akong mga agi. Yung ana, niyawa ko yung eyeglass. Wala ko yung vision na 100-200 sa mo. Right? So, ako matang madaotan na. Nagkalilig ako masayo pa dyan ko. Na akong pag-solve, paspas tayo. Kayo magsamok-samok. Kasi maglibog ko. Kaya tungkol sa akong agi ba? Okay, muna to kong weakness, pas-pasay ko mo solve. Okay, you got the point. Mahugaw akong agi ba? Malibog na noon ko. Lagi, nakakaloka. Okay, so D-glucose o L-glucose, di mo ko hamutan kayo nagsulat good. Okay, L-glucose. Okay, ang L-glucose is the reverse of D-glucose. Okay, so meaning to say, L-glucose is the enantiomer of the D-glucose because it is the mirrored image of the glucose. If you try to flip, meaning if you try to turn that upside down, like that, or rotate that, okay? So mirror image. So enantiomer, okay, like that. So enantiomer pala guys, more on the letters, like a D, L, alpha, beta, like that, ha? Ganon. So, wala siyang glucose. Now, atong gawin ko niyang Haworth. Wow. Dito ko ganahan yung Haworth, guys. Ako lang yung pugso si Haworth. Ha? No. Diba ba kalinaw siya? Malinaw siya kung ano yung Haworth do. Okay, diba? So, muna ni. Okay, Haworth. Ang formula ni Haworth ang glucose kay anak mo siya guys, no? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ikatulog-tulog ko chemistry, malingaw siya kung pangayog eh. Diba? Okay, wala siya. Ana-ana, guys, no? Na, carbon number 1, carbon number 2, carbon number 3, carbon number 4, carbon number 5, and carbon number 6. Okay. Then, your first criterion, sorry, wrong grammar. Sa pala. Criterion. The first criterion is the oxygen here. Okay. Criteria is the plural of criterion, ha? Just like fungus, fungi, okay, alumnus, alumni, things like that. And analysis, but the spelling of analysis plural is I, and the singular is A-N-E-L-Y-S-E-S, analysis. Okay, analysis, that is singular. Analysis plural is A-N-A-L-Y-S-I-S. Okay, meaning say, if you have the analysis, meaning you have 2 or more analysis, because ang English spelling ay there. Okay, but if you try to put E as in ego, you have only 1 analysis. Okay, that's English grammar. Okay, be careful also. But it's just happened that in analysis, these are really like a homonym. Meaning the same sound, right? Analysis, things like that. Okay. Get the point? So homonym, antonym, and synonym, something like in vocabularies. Okay, that's the point. So it will matter a lot also in interpreting questions in the future. Okay, mga panangakumitag, gano'n, advantage din siya if you are really good in English. Okay, like that. So number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. Now, the oxygen is in the carbon number 6, and also, not also, right? So if you have C2H, ubos, parang kung nasa last na siya, no? CH2OH. Ganon. Okay, kari siya. At ito ba hindi pang balin? Ang C2OH na sa carbon number 5. Ang kanyang double bond oxygen dito sa carbon here. Green. Okay. You got the point mga palangga. Ganon. And then your OH is in carbon number 3. See? Kaya kanyang oxygen, ang muna siya carbon. You got the point? So, muna labot sa ihap. Charot. O diba? Ganun, carbon number 3. 1, 2, 3. Ang OH na sa sodo. Soda yun. Guys, ang atong diba sa Haworth, all we have to remember of the Haworth projection structural formula and also the Fisher projection structural formula is that the OH will be in the left, so the OH will be inside in the polygon in the Haworth. Okay, let's agree. So that you will never be mixed up. Okay. The OH in the right side in the Fisher projection will be outside from the polygon in your Haworth. So this is your identification so that you will never be confused during your structuring of your Haworth projection if you will be dealing with different chemicals, right? The organic chemicals, supposedly, right? Organic, yeah, this is organic compounds. Okay? Get the point. So it's gonna be H here. The reverse of OH is the H, so you don't have to worry. Okay? So, like that. Okay? So, the rest of the OH in the glucose will be going to the outside. Okay? Because that is in the right. Okay? Ana-ana lang. Okay? So, makabuhat pag-formula sa glucose. Marami siya. Okay. So this kind of appearance, actually, this is theoretical, okay? But this is inside your body now, okay? This one. So that's why you can produce a lot of alcohol because take note, the sugar itself have so many OH, okay? But then alcohol have hydroxide in the compound. So that means even though you will never drink beer, whiskey, wine, or everything, you can still have alcohol. Because there's a lot of outlet for different substances to react with OH to become an alcohol naturally inside your body. Because alcohol can be biosynthesized in your body. Okay, that is not essential. Because essential coming from outside sources only. Okay, it should be biosynthesized. Though we need alcohol in our body, that's why people who will never drink alcoholic beverage will survive because we have natural alcohol. Because alcohol is good for our health. But it doesn't mean you have to drink alcohol, the beer, so that it is good to your health. No need because we have alcohol inside our body. Claro? Okay. So we have here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Muna ito formula ni glucose. Guys, ano nakita karon? Charot. So, ano na punta? Guys, ang Haworth projection, dili siya mo use of DL na mga ano. It will use the alpha, beta, like the Greek letters. Okay, so this one will become alpha. Okay? Ipuno na siya ang D. Okay? May ganun, ikuha na akong brain cells. Ipuno ang D, kinaman siya sa right. So, alpha D glucose. Okay, the name. Or, alpha D glucopyranose. Ganon. What do you mean special pyranose? Nakakalimutan. Okay. So pyranose term is applicable only in aldohexosugar. Okay, aldohexosugar. Okay, so alpha D glucopyranose, if your OH will be here. Okay, because this is in the carbon number 1. That is alpha. Alpha D, because OH are in the outside, means in the right in the fissure. So alpha D glucose or alpha D glucopyranose. Okay, but the more popular is the alpha D glucose. That would mean also as the alpha D glucopyranose. Okay, because this is more, shall we say, difficult. Okay, if you say alpha D glucose, acceptable regular siya. But if you have choices, so it's either one of them will be there. It's okay. Okay, you get the point. Now guys, in the Howard also, if you say beta D glucose or beta D glucopyranose, you will reverse the OH to the top here. OH here, right? Okay, ganon. Di ba nga pala akong hitad? O, ganon. So, but before you think that, imo dyan i-count ang carbon daan, ha? Para di ka mag-ibog ba na? 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Ganon. 5, 6, ganon dyan naman siya. 6, hirang carbon. Hindi ka pala oxygen. Oxygen is not included, yung carbon kaara. Dahil lagi siya. Okay, when you draw, count the carbon. Okay, kung pasok ba siya sa banga. Okay, ganon so. OH dire sa taas, ubos ang H. Muna na siya ang beta D glucopyranose or beta D glucose. Okay? So, if we mean beta and alpha, we are referring to the OH positioning. Okay? Sa right side of the polygon. Okay? Right side din ha. Okay, dito sa left side. Pero sa tabi ng alpha, beta, chupa-chucho. Now, if you say alpha L glucose, meaning we have to flip this. This, we need to rotate this because para may mong L. Okay? Means tama. Beta L glucose, so we have to flip this out. Okay? Things like that. How can we flip this out? So, meaning you have to rotate this one. So, this one will be here, going here. Okay? Kinabit tayo OH din na ari na. Diba? Ganon. Ganon ba yun? Yeah. Oo, tama. Okay? Tama dyan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Diba? Ganon siya mga talaga kumitan. Okay? So, ipunin mo ang OH. Kailangan pasok nyo sa banga. So, 1. Okay, kailangan tayo OH dari ari o mapalangga. Okay. So, let's assume that this is an alpha. Chuba-chucho. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 na siya guys. Okay? Atong laro, ugaw juga ako mga pabutang-butang ni. Muli makasikat na ako, Jude. Okay, H. Okay? Ugaw ko mga butang. 1, 2, 3, okay? 4. 4 pa rin 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 na yung hydrogen. Sakto. Carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Daraari 6. 6 carbon. Pasok sa banga. Then oxygen na yun. Ang oxygen kay C6H6 6 oxygen siya. Okay? Ganon. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? 6 na yung oxygen rara. Nakuha mo yung mga palang akong hitad? Yes. Okay, kaya naman na siya. H mo na siya dari ari. O, diba? Ganon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 ang yung oxygen. So, C6H12O6 glucose siya. Okay? Muna siya ang kuha ni glucose ha. Mustap lang ta after ni kuan guys. Kuri after ni fructose. Okay? Yan. Gusto ko lang sa laing. So, o diba? Nakasakit papasok. Ito na ni galactose, oy. Okay. So, muna siya may tabo ha. So, glucose, importante kini siya. Kaya muna siya magkuan ng dagbida sa kuan. Sa cellular, aerobic cellular respiration in producing energy for all living organisms. And also producing glucose from the process known as photosynthesis, from chlorophyll, and from adenosine triphosphate with the chemical energy, the release of the light from the sun. Okay, things like that. We can get ATP because there's phosphorus in the sun. That's why adenosine triphosphate. Okay, that's the point. So, anak siyang natabo. So, sa Calvin cycle, Makakuha po tag energy dito because we have carbon dioxide. So ang source sa energy of the Calvin cycle is the carbon from the atmospheric carbon dioxide. Now, if the plants and animals will release or exhale the carbon dioxide just like us, then this carbon dioxide also will return back as our food. Okay? That is the processing of the Calvin cycle. Okay? The carbon was being fixed from atmospheric CO2 using the Rodesco enzyme to produce glucose also again, like a cycle, okay, to provide us the main energy, okay, of all living organisms. So, lahi ng processing sa carbon cycle, okay, sa cellular respiration, okay, like that, and also photosynthesis, but all of them have one common denominator to give us the source of energy. These processes. Okay, photosynthesis, Calvin cycle, Krebs cycle. Okay, get the point, mangingana siya. Okay, these are all producing glucoses or source of energy for all living organisms. So, lahat na siyang process. You get the point? So, muna siya sa biology. So, since chemistry are involved in the enzymes, the reactions, that's why it became a biochemistry. That's the point. So, biology plus chemistry in that process. Okay, kailangan siya mga chemicals. Every process have chemicals involved. Okay? So, that's why it's biochemistry. Ganon. Okay. So, dili pa lang, biochemistry na yun. Okay? Hindi ka bangon nato sa buntag. Biochemistry na yun, kailangan na may oxygen daan at i-inhale. Uban, mangutot pa gani. Dioxide na yung giutot. So, chemistry na yun, ikabuntag pa, mangihi o urine. Okay. Okay, because substances are chemistry. You get the point around us. Ganon. Di ba? Klaro tayo na. Pasok sa mga. Okay, now, what is the formula of the galactose? Okay. Galactose is a sugar found also in the milk, in dairy products, glycoprotein. Glycoprotein meaning is a protein came from glycogen. That's why glycoprotein. And then glycolipid. So galactose is also come from glycolipid, meaning that is coming from the a lipid coming from the glycogen. Okay, so there are sugar also there. So galactose is present there. And in fact, there are also galactose found in ice cream. Okay, the ice cream we eat. Okay, it's not purely supposedly there. There's also galactose there because they put milk. Okay, in the ice cream. Okay, things like that because it is in the milk also the galactose. The galactose and lactose will always be in the milk. Okay, you got the point? Ganun siya mga palangga kong test. Ano ito sa galactose? Kinuman na itong iisgutan. But you can never say, di ba, if you're in the hospital, may mga doktor na, sir, na-diabetic siya because he has higher of galactose. Di ba? So, binigyan siya glucose, di ba? So, we need to say, galactose is good for the health. Hindi may sabihin mo na doktor. The doctor will never say also, he is diabetes because he's a higher fructose. The doctor will never say that also. So fructose is good for the health. Okay? Things like that. So, what is bad in the health? Ang glucose o ang sucrose. Okay? Like this. Because sucrose is equals to fructose plus glucose. Because there's a combination of glucose na. Because if you try to separate the fructose as one entity, as a one substance, without a combination of glucose, it will become more good because all fruits have fructose. And if it is bad, we will never eat fruits. Right? Kaya ang fructose, nabi-agara ka na. It's a sugar found in fruits. So we need to say, fructose is good for the health. Okay? Generally. Okay? Inhibition or inhibiting the other substances is another story. That could be an experimental study. Okay, but for general concept, fructose is good. Okay, get the point. So ano sa galactose? Uy, okay. Nakakauna ba ang tanan? Okay. Ang galactose, ang atong timan na ninihigayon na, okay, galactose. Okay. Galactose. Okay. Ganon. So, ang formula ng galactose kasi C6H12 po siya ha. For example, kasi if the question was saying that, for example, science examination was saying, which of the following has the formula of C6H12O6? And the choices A, fructose, galactose, glucose, okay? And E, all of the above. You answer all of the above because these are isomers with each other that contain 6 atoms of carbon, 12 atoms of hydrogen, and 6 atoms. Ayun yung katintalan sa glucose, guys, ha? Okay, because glucose is more popular. May ito say, gas-gas, mo ni permiya, bunog na kami siya ng pagka-sugar. Okay? Murag, kung sa kuan pa niya siya, di ba? Murag na niya siyang pokpok, sa kinsa na mo tira. Okay? Ang glucose. Okay, kung ano siya, sikat man siya ba na, murag yung, permi na lang kung sa kanta pa, or my way, permi kantahon, bunog na kayo. My way, my love will see you through, sa mga inom-inom. So, murag siya. Okay, so, ayong kapokus ni glucose permi, kaya ubang mga sugar. Get the point? Ganon. So, alita ni galactose. Okay. Galactose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, 6 ang carbon atoms o. Ganon. Then sa bottom part, sa carbon number 6, CH2. OH na yun. Then this is aldo, hexose sugar. So, the double bond is in the carbon number 1 here at the top. Ganon. Okay. Now, since this is galactose, ang atong identification sa galactose, mga kapatid kong palangga, is in the carbon number 3 and carbon number 4, in which the OH will be in the left. Okay, not the same with glucose, the OH is in the carbon number 3 only. But in the galactose, it's in the carbon number 3 and carbon number 4, the OH left. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Are you going to OH carbon number 3? Carbon number 3. And the rest OH will be in the right. Okay, OH. Okay, OH. Then partner of OH is hydrogen. Hydrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen. Like this. Now, prove if it is correct. How many oxygen for this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Hydrogen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. Carbon 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Carbon 6. So our general galactose. Okay. The same chemical formula, general formula, but differ in their structural formula, okay, and their application or uses. Or it may have common uses or application, but they have different uses and application. Okay? But the point mo na siyang isomers. Okay? So if you try to say, what is an isomerism? Okay? It's the process of producing isomers. Ganun lang, simply. Even though you will never study, the word isomer is very clear and you create the own sentence in that, then bingo. Daog na yun. Okay? What is a polymerization? A process in producing polymers. Because the word polymer is in the polymerization. Things like that, you don't have to be bookish, you don't have to memorize. If you see a process that have a term, sometimes by default, it will be understood in there, in the terminology. For example, hydration. There's a word hydrate. Okay guys, so muna siya yung mahitabo. Okay? Oh my gosh, the Canada people is still calling me. My gosh. Iba ko pa lugar guys, nag-vlog pa ko mga palangga. Okay. Hala ka, klaro. Pwede maklaro-klaro ba? Yes, klaro siya. Ganon! Okay, wala siya nga to. Galactose mga palangga. So, ang OH na sa right, so muna siya ang D-galactose. Okay. Ang N-galactose is the reverse. So, just reverse all this OH to the right and also this OH carbon reverse. Reverse all. Okay, like that. Okay? But refers only in the chiral region, ha? Say chiral region, Sotero. Ang chiral region means these are the carbon atoms in the center without excluding the top and the bottom. Okay? Because sometimes the question is, how many chiral numbers? Then how can you, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, there are 4 chiral numbers, ganon. Okay? Kinamang tayo formulaan na to determine also the stereoisomers. You remember in organic chemistry, di ba? Enantiomer, isomer, stereoisomer, mga ganon-ganon. Enantiomer, isomer, ganon. So ang imong stereoisomer, okay, stereoisomer will be your chiral, okay, will be 2 raised to the power your chiral. So 2 exponent to the n. Ganon. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 chiral. So 2 exponent to the 4. So you have 16. Okay, 16 chiral. Okay. So how come 16? Because there's a lot of formation of this galactose in the form of 6 carbon atoms magtud until 16 kabuok ang iyang possible orientation. So what we mean in this stereoisomerism is the maximum or orientation or positioning of the chemicals under different circumstances. So there are at least 16 orientation of this C6H12O6, 16. Okay? Lahat yung forma. Okay? So structural. Okay? Kung tiyo daghana lang, mga ganun. So, malisod po tayo, kaya daghana kayo, sige tayo huna. Okay? So, complex na kayo nga examine ani. Write the structural formula of the 16 chiral chemicals of, C6H12O6. Daghana 16 kabuok. Okay? So, the more your chiral will be lesser, the more the maximum orientation will be less. For example, I have glyceride. Okay, so glycerol. Okay, so glycerol C3H8O3. This is glycerol, right? So there are 3 carbon atoms. Then if you try to write the glycerol, it will be like this. So gamay kay carbon compared sa imong glucose ug galactose, right? So imong chiral pila. So 1 ra imong chiral. Into nga. Okay? So 1. So 2 raised to the power 1. So 2 ra iyang maximum orientation of glyceride. Okay? You get the ana-ana ra siya. Ibalik ra nimo siya. Mora na nilain. Okay, duha ra man yan. Di ba pa na dire double bond oxygen, di ba ana? Ana. And then ang usa ni ani mo siya ituwad na diri ari ang imong kuan. Double bond sa last. Okay, mora man diri ari, hindi mo matter. Okay, terminate yun imong OH na sa right sa glyceride. We're talking man the natural glyceride. So, we need to say ang OH sa chiral number 1 nasa tunga, ang OH natin pero sa right, di siya mato sa left. Kaya usa naman yung carbon sa chiral. So, we need to say the only way to have an orientation is really to going that down. So, total number of structural orientation or positioning is 2 because of the formula 2 raised to the power n, where n is the chiral number. So the more you have so many carbon atoms, the more your maximum orientation of chemicals are so many. Okay, for example, gasoline, there are 8 carbon atoms, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So ang chiral niya mga 6, ganon. So 2 raised to the power 6. So dagan ka siya mga purma-purma. Okay? So let's say alpha octane, D-octane, alpha beta D-octane. Ato na mo siya kuan kabuok. 32 kabuok na formula bro. Maora gyapon tanan itotal nimo nga mga how many carbon, how many pero yan ang mga orientation ba? You get the point? Ana siya. Diba? So, ang tawag na niya guys, stereoisomers. So, if the question will say, how many stereoisomers in glucose? Yung makakasugat ko sa pag-compute ang stereoisomers, munganga ka, di ba? You get the point? So, dapat master nyo ka sa mga ingani. Okay. How many stereoisomers in fructose? Ganon. Lah, kuya wala sa Sotero. So, klaro kayo na nasa tunga ng mga kuan mga chiral. Ang chiral na sa fructose di para sa glucose kay ngano, ang double bond sa fructose nasa carbon number 2. O, di ba? So, you could say nga ang iyang kuan guys, ayang chiral mo kuan kabuok tulo or upat ana ba? So, you can really have the exact if you try to draw the structural formula. Okay, ari na po ta sa Howard sa glucose. Sige. Sa galactose, sorry. Ang galactose kay, kuan kini siya. Char. Ana na yun ay. O, diba? Ganon. Char. So, we have CH2OH. So guys, you memorize already the C2H here. You have the O and the R. Kaway, lubog sa mga. Okay, OH. OH. Now, di ba niyo ko nga 3 and 4 ang OH dito sa left? So, duha ang musud, OH. Bata mo sa musud, ato sa taas. Okay, wala naman siya kasudlan. Ato siya sa top, di ba siya sa bottom? Okay, doon pa rin siya sa ang direction, ato mo musud ba? Di mo siya sa pulikod. Okay, di ba makaligaw? H, H, anak, then H dayon, anak dayon siya. Okay, now, tanawa na yun. Di mo nila, kala na sa sutoy, sobra lagi na. Hindi ka na, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Buti mo na ma-uwi, magaling ka, no? Yeah. Iba na din yung palihokon imong brain cells. Ay, hindi na siya OH, CH2OH. Anak mo ba na guys? Mag-work ng chemical formula, yung dyan i-analyze June. Di ba? Yun kay puro sa memorya, ha? Okay, so, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. O, 6 na carbon. Okay, galactose ba yan? Okay, now, kung anak siya ang kuan, ang galactose guys, balihon mo ang iyang OH nga nasa gawas, mato siya sa soul. OH, ano din ang H diri ari. Okay, anak, muna siya ang galactose. O muna na siya, ang diri OH sa glucose, hindi mo hilabtan. Okay, nga naman sa Sotero, hindi mo na ako hilabtan. Ciao. Ano dyan Di ba OH, ang anak mo na ano, yung H na kadiri ari. Nung di mo na hilabtan sa Sotero, di mo hilabtan, kaya nga nung di ang makamakadistinguish sa alpha, beta. Okay, ang OH. So, dito sinagi na si OH yung H direct sa carbon number 1. Anak ba? Okay. Nakuha mo mapalangga ang gitar. So, muna siya ang hitabo. Okay. So, anak. Okay? So, anak siya may tabo, no? So, muna siya. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Iipon din mo ang hydrogen mo. Sakto din pasok ko dyan sa banga. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pasok sa banga. Ano dyan siya, guys? Okay, mo dyan siya ang galactose. Okay, ganun, di ba? So, any questions so far for this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ganon. Okay. So, wala siya yung metabo sa imong carbo, sa imong kuan. Ano, no? Kani siya, mauna siya ang alpha D galactose. Inaraman yung OH diri, nasa ubos. Alpha yun guys ha, if your OH in the bottom, in the carbon number 1. Ay, yun yung pagkatintal na. Jud. Okay, you get the point. Diba? Now, beta D galactose, balik na mo OH, change it to the top, and H is in the bottom. So, beta D galactose, or pwede naman tawagan na galactopyranose. Okay? Pwede mo kayo sikat ng pyranose, ilan mo yung pilitan ng pyranose. Okay, anak siya. Okay, muna siya ang galactose. Naari din sa fructose. Muhunong na ko yung fructose sa kataas sa katong vlog. Okay? So, fructose. So, fructose are the sugars from the citrus fruits. Okay? Like that. Ano? So, fructose. Dara. Fructose. Walang yapon. C6H12O6. But this time, kung ano na siya, guys? Ketohexose sugar. Ketosis. Sugar. Like that. Okay? So, ang imong carbon number 2 lang ari. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ang carbon number 2 ari, double bond oxygen. Ang carbon number 1, CH2OH na dayon. And CH2H din. Imong timanan guys kung pila sa kabuk imong CH2H, mausa na how many CH2H in your fission projection is only equal also how many CH2H in your Haworth projection. Okay, para ma-match yung itataka kayo. I-help nyo mga kung ano ka sa iyo chart. Diba? Diba the point mga panangga kong hitad. Ganon. Okay. Now it's in here. Oh, now, si fructose guys, no OH na reverse. Si fructose, all OH will be on the right. Okay, like this. So katong ang OH mo ato sa left, mao siya ang sa glucose ug sa galactose. Dito ra to siya sa mga aldohexose, aldo sugar ma-apply. Okay, again. Nakakaloka. Okay, when you put OH on the left side, that will be applicable in the rule of aldo sugar. But if you talk about keto sugar, it will never follow that kind of rule. All OH will be in the right originally. Okay, like this, like the fructose. Okay? Ay mo kalibog na ito. Dahil kini mo mahibalaan ang fructose. Okay. So this is D-fructose. Okay, because all the OH are in the right. And then if you say L-fructose, all OH will be in the left. Ano ka siya? The rest, okay na. Na Haworth na yun. So the Haworth projection of fructose is somewhat makalibog. But imagine lang yun yung guys na nandun kasi CH2OH ha. Okay, pasok ka sa banga. Kaluka. Muli na siya. Oh yes, ano na siya guys. O ano. So ako na yung pamatod ng gari. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ang fructose guys, ang imong timanan, ang iyang gibasihan ang glucose. Because glucose is the basis of all ng God, of all sugar. Now, the OH in the glucose will be in the bottom here, will be inside. And then, OH, H, like that. Since you know also that the OH also in the carbon number 3 in glucose is in the left inside supposedly. Sa sucrose, it's in the bottom. Gusto ko ito si sucrose. Okay, hindi siya makasinabot ni glucose. Ang iyong mga orientation, baligid siya pero okay, good the point. Muna yung timan si fructose, glucose, baligid siya pero okay, now, so di ba niyon ka nga si glucose, yung OH diri sa ubos, di ba? Oh, ganun. Okay, ngayon ka nga, ang imong OH na sa taas, ibaliman. Right? Di ba ka? OH ni glucose na sa ubos, carbon number 4. Then, ibaliman siya, OH na sa taas. Okay. Now, is SCH2OH. Okay. Like that. Ikata po yung mga palangga ka. Okay. Os mo na ito pagkwalahan, di ba? Apa ito masabtan? Di ba, HOH mo na siya, no? Kuan, ang imong glucose. Di ba, galihon mo, mga OHH, ano siya? OHH. Okay? Ano siya? Now, since our structural formula in the fission, there are 2 CH2OH, then this is the first thing to put CH2OH in the position of OH because there's a commonality of OH. Because if it happens that the H is in the top, then you can never substitute the CH2OH because the CH2OH have OH. So hindi siya mo match. Since in this situation, I'm going OH ang atong top. So therefore, we can replace that 2 CH2OH. Okay? Kung naitago pa lang yung H ang taas, hindi ka makapag-usubot ng CH2OH. Okay, what for ang OH? Palisan mo din yung HOH ang mga labanan. Okay, you get the point? So H2OH, bila siya. Okay, na kung paano OH direct, iwala na kasi H2OH, yung mga labanan, OH mo din, OH pero hindi pare sa H. O, diba? Ana na, you get the point? Oh. So, ano din? Yan. Dili na yun, anak. Oh. Now, in your fissure projection, there are CH2OH. So, asa man yung ibutang sa H2OH usa? Since you know, the oxygen mo, tungtulan sa tuloy dito sa oxygen. So, ano yung sa carbon number 1? O, di ba sa tatas, ubos ba? Okay, ubos ay nunduman na yun. Okay. So, di ba, ang glucose HOH na siya. Okay. Like that. HOH. So, duha man ka si H2OH. Okay? CH2OH. Duha ka buok. Okay, asa man mo ibutang ang CH2OH ana ron? Dili sa H or sa OH? Okay, remember, ito sa butang ng CH2OH in place of OH. Kaya mo na ang rule, ang pares sa na OH ang yun. Dili sa carbon 1, do we follow still the rule in the carbon number 4 or not? Imo yung hunahunahon. Okay? So, supposedly, if you follow the rule, we will change this OH to CH2OH, right? Okay, but if you're only trying to account the pattern. Since I told you, science is not pattern all the time. Not like math, sequencing, patterning. You need to analyze really as per the theory and concepts it hold. Okay, like that. So, you can never put CH2H here. Because if you put CH2H here and the H isn't above, so we cannot say alpha anymore. Alpha, beta, because the basis of putting alpha and beta is to have OH. Right? Since in the rule, we have also to put CH2H as partner of H. Because CH2H is the of OH, because H and OH will be the pairing always. Then we cannot have that because we will be not trying to follow the alpha beta naming in carbon number 1. In carbon number 4, we can follow. Okay, that's the point. Because our problem lies in carbon 1 and carbon number 4. And carbon number 2, carbon sa ibang kuan. Separate na siya sa kuan, sa glucose na. Okay, so arita muna-muni sa carbon number 1 or carbon number 4. So, ano siya magtutuwad? Guys, sa organic chemistry, the always mistakes ang magkatuwad-tuwad. Sa taas, sa ubos, sa left, sa right. Mga yabo ang mga estudyante, usahay, maghibog ba sa ibutang sa structural formula sa mga organic compounds. These are the usual mistakes when we write the structural formula in organic chemistry. Not so much within organic because it's not dealing with structural formula. It's not an issue, wali mga ganani. Okay, but you know, in organic chemistry, mo na siya makalisod. You get the point? Because to tell you honestly, we memorize all organic compounds in the planet Earth, and there's a lot. So we cannot memorize all the orientation. So all we need to understand, okay, the mechanism, the concepts, and the principles. Okay, the mechanism and the pattern is secondary, but always the theory, the concepts, and principles will go first. Just like this. Okay, the rule says, the pattern says, the mechanism says that we have to put here also, okay, the CH2OH. Oh, ano naman siya? HOH. O, ganan. Diba? So, puputang kag CH2OH diri. Oh. CH2OH. Ganan. So, naamag yun na siya kuan guys. Naamag yun na siya partner nga H. So, dili pwede ang CH2OH lagi. Okay, ana. So, ibutang na lang diri sa taas. Okay? O, ang CH2OH ni mo. O, CH2OH ari sa taas. Why? Because in your Cat2 hexosugars, there are 2 CH2OH. Then, kung mapugos ka OH lagi, dili mo follow siya kay duha ba ito ka ang CH2OH. Imong isupat. So, okay, so that's why you will put CH2H2 ka buok. Ana. Pero mapasok yun siya sa banga. It will be matched. With the point. So, CH2H here, CH2OH here, and OH here. OH can never be eliminated because OH is the basis when to say if it is an alpha, beta. Okay. So here, alpha, because the OH is in the bottom. So this is alpha D fructofuranose. Is the name for this. Okay. Kuya ko na ba nasa susunod? O kuya yun kayo guys. Okay, ano namin siya? Alpha D fructofuranose. Akaloka. Fructo coming from the word fructose, and furanose is a term added in all Cat2 sugars. Okay, ketosis sugars. Pyranose will be added in all aldoses sugars. Okay, so you should know also the application. Okay, sa to, furanose will be added in the naming for ketosis or ketohexose family. And then pyranose will be added for aldose sugars or aldohexose sugars na really referring to hexos. You can say aldo, pentos, aldo, heptos, aldo, nanos, like that, okay? Okay, so ito na, nunin mo na siya, no? So, nunos, octos, diba? If you try to be strict, methos, ethos, okay? Again na, propanos, okay? Propanos, butanos, kaluka, pentanos, or pentos, okay, ganon. So, methos, ethos, okay, propanos, butanos, pentos, heptos, hexos, okay, hexos, muna siya, and then we have octos, lagi, octos or octanos, it's just okay, octanos lang, okay, maging doon sa pamilang. Actually, it's either octanos or octos, but if you have really the N, mukalit mo siya, butanos na anak, good, okay, so octanos, gindi siya, octanos, okay, then nonanos, and then we have the 10, kaya kung ano siya, dinanos, okay, and then kung 12 na siya, dudinanos, okay, muna siya ang sequence sa sugar, mag-start siya sa methos, ethos, propanos, butanos, pentos, heptos, hexos, octanos, nonanos, dinanos, and dodinanos. Okay. Now, it happens that our glucose pounds and hexos here. So that's why we put aldohexose family. Now, if your sugar also contains 9 carbon atoms, you will see also aldononanose family. Okay. You will also say, for example, alpha D nonopyranose. Ganon. Okay? Binangin mo sa dito sa kuan baron, dodinanos, 12 atoms of carbon. Okay, but first you have to identify if it is ketos or aldose. O, diba? Ganon. Get the point? The first thing is to identify if it is an aldose sugar and a keto sugar before adding furanose and pyranose in your naming of your, Fisher chemical projection and Haworth projection in organic compound. Okay, get the point sa carbohydrates family. Okay, get the point. So, mo na siya ang atong sucrose, fructose. So, mo na siya guys ang alpha D fructofuranose. Ganun siya. Nung ako i-change ang way sa taas, mo na lang si H2S o boost. Kung saan siya, beta na niya siya. Ano beta man te? Carbon 1. Muna rin ang carbon na siya. 1, 2. So, naman sa carbon number 2. Ano ka? Ang OH. So, beta D fructofuranose. Ganon. Kung kasi kang L, muna po na siya ituyok para ma-L na yun siya. Muna na ka na. Beta L furanose, alpha L furanose. Ikatuyok na tuloy mo dito. Okay? Ano lang siya. Okay? Muna na siya sa fructose. Okay? So, manaka sa glucose, galactose, and fructose. At sa, comment na nino ha, ito ka sa kanang disaccharides. Muna sa charis na. So, di ba kayo mga sucrose, lactose, maltose, guys? Okay, mo, greenhouse, lawang ha. Okay, ikaadi mo. Samo ka siya asa siya bubutang ng oxygen mo eh. Nakaloka. Okay, mga tangtang na ng hydrogen. Ikaadi mo sa, sucrose. Sucrose is equals to glucose plus fructose. Isumpok mo ang glucose o fructose. Liman ka na. Ang formula niya, mahimod yung carbon 12 H22O11. So it's not easy to burn sucrose compared to glucose and fructose. Okay, kay C6H12O6 naman to sila. Taas ang molecular weight ng sucrose. Carbon 12 H22O11. Okay, dubli ko ng carbon atoms. So you could expect it to be more easily. So ayun pala ng asukar. Okay, 12 atoms ba ang carbon sa asukar? O diba? Nakakaloka. Okay, thank you so much for this for this biochemistry topic or health science topic. See you later. I hope you like this explanation. You can comment, you can share the video if you want. And then you can subscribe also my channel, which is known as Health, Science, Safety, and Music. I rebranded my YT channel because of some recommendations. Okay? You get the point? Somebody commented, that's why. Because if they said singing only, then there will be no science at all. I said, okay, no problem. I'm open-minded to suggestions. Okay, thank you so much. Okay guys, God bless. See you later. Ganon. Char. O, diba? Nakakaluka.